Can y'all hear me okay? Test. All right. Good morning, beautiful people. We're going to be finishing this podcast literally right when I can start running, which is insane. I have a lot to tell you about. It hasn't been that long since we recorded last. We recorded last, was it Thursday? Wednesday? I think it was Thursday. And we are back. It's only Tuesday today because I have some preparations to do, okay? By the time you're seeing this, I will have gone to Vegas. I decided on Tuesday, I was at work and I was like, my family's going to Vegas without me, which is fine because, well, kind of. Let's get into the messiness of that. So, from what my mom said. Now, my mom, I love my mom, okay? But, like, she is very good at telling stories, we'll say. I'm not calling her a liar. I'm just saying she's really good at telling stories. The way that she perceives reality is different from the way that normal people perceive reality. She's pretty sure she's not psychotic, so like she's not imagining a false reality. She's not a liar, and I'm not saying any of that, but she does twist the truth. And I don't think necessarily it's with ill intent all of the time. Sometimes it feels like it. But anyway, so she told me super last minute, which is a whole other thing. But she told me super last minute. She's all like, because like for my birthday we went and did like a getaway, but my sister, like she like physically abused me. So I was like, yeah, you're not invited to my events. I don't really maintain much of a relationship with her. We like, I'm like casual with her. Like I'm not gonna be like I hate you. You like it's not high school drama, but it's like I'm a better person and a happier person not having her in my life, with where she's at and with where I'm at with my life right now. It's the truth. So she's absolutely not invited to my birthday. I love my birthday. It's like habitual. It's like I love it. And so she wasn't invited. And we did a little thing for my birthday for a few days. She wasn't invited. So then my mom was all like, well, because of that, which, whatever. Whether she intended it as a consequence or not, I don't know, but it kind of feels like it. She's like, because your sister couldn't come on your birthday trip, I'm going with her on another trip. And she's like, you can come if you want. And I was like, no, I can't, because as we've established, I don't want to be associated with my sister, and I made that clear to her. And I don't mean it in a toxic way. I just mean it in a literal, like, if you've had a sibling relationship like this, you get it. And if you don't, I fully get why this is just sounds horrific to you. It sounds like, what is he talking about? But it's the truth. Like, okay, if you get that reference, you get it. You probably don't, but if you've heard my alarm every day at 7, you probably get it. But anyway, the reason that you're no anyway, sorry, I was just making a reference. I'm not sorry. But like I'm not sorry. I'm just I shouldn't apologize so much. But anyway, also, did you notice the casual fit today? That's because we finally have the drunk HR. Like I've recorded the first episode. I leaked the name. I've officially recorded the first episode of the Drunk Podcast. And so I've done the testing and all that stuff at this point. And let it be known, this background is for that podcast. I just happen to use it for this as well because I have established this as the podcast corner. And until I have budget, until I have whatever, it's just staying that way. But for legal reasons, for every other reason, we are separate entities. We are or I don't know that girl. But anyway, and so anyway, now I don't need to dress formally. I dressed formally to see how it would appear on camera, to see blah blah blah. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, like I'm dressed in my running outfit right now because that's typically how the day goes. Is I'll just change out of my work stuff into my running stuff, and then I'll go run once it's not insanely hot to do so. It's still hot. It's usually like somewhere between like 102 and 104 degrees probably when I start running, but still. Anyway, back on track, lock in. So my mom was all like, "We're going to, uh, a, like they're going to like a convention, okay? We'll say that." And I was all like, my mom was all like, trying to be polite. She was like, "You can come if you want. Do you want to come?" But it almost felt sarcastic, and I really kind of think whether or not she meant it that way, I kind of think she meant it that way, in the sense of where it was like a swipe. It was like if you want to come, you can, but like she knows I can't, because I've set a boundary with my sister, and I said I don't want to be associated with her. That we would be like casual. We're not going to be like, well, I'm not. I can't speak for her. I'm not going to be like some toxic person that's all like, um, she's here. Like, she's a human being? Just because I don't have like a relationship with her where we're like close, people don't deserve to be treated like that. Just cause, now she has treated me like that, but like that doesn't. I'm not gonna do that back. You know what I mean? And so like it's just easier and better for everybody to just have our separate ways, right? And so like obviously no, that invite wasn't genuine. It's like if somebody was like, um, I know you're allergic to peanut butter, but we're gonna go to the M&M peanut factory. You can come if you want. No, they can't. You know what I mean? Same concept. By the way, this is Kirkland, which is the Costco brand of Malbec. This is the first time I'm actually gonna have to replenish my wine in probably months, which is actually a blessing and an accomplishment for me. I used to need to replenish that. Like I used to have to push it to make it last the entire month. And I bought 6 bottles at a time, you guys, hypothetically, allegedly, potentially. Um, it was usually like 4 to 6 bottles at a time because you go to Costco to buy it in bulk. But like now, it's been 2 3 months, maybe more. I don't know. And this is fine. I'm finally in the last bottle. I'm mainly drinking this. Honestly, I wanted a Negroni, but I opened this to film the first episode of the Drunk Podcast. And so today I'm just finishing it. So anyway, that's what we're drinking if you're curious. But obviously, they were like my mom was like, "You can come if you want." No, I can't. There's so much tension between me and my sister. And like we're both we both just kind of pretend it's not there, but I know we both feel it. I feel it. Like it's like if I'm downstairs visiting my family because like she's still living with them, which no shame towards that. Like me too basically. But like and I've done that as well. No shame at her for that, honestly, in this economy, period. But like it kind of feels like if I'm down there and I'm doing stuff, it's like she just rushes upstairs. And I don't blame her because I kind of feel the same way. The way that whenever she gets home, I'm in a rush to get out the door, basically. You know, it's like it's time for her time with my family versus my time with my family. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I get that. But there is so much tension. We cannot go to a convention. We can't just, that's like going from strangers to dating in like overnight. That's like if I went to sleep, woke up, and went to work, and I was dating this brand new hire, which, aside from all the HR problems and risks with that, like HR, drunk, drunk HR. Anyway, and so don't be drunk while you're doing HR. That's not what I'm getting at. If you know, you know. Anyway, um, and so it's like you can't just do that. You can't just go from 0 to 100, just like that. You know what I mean? And so obviously I was like, no, I'm good, thanks. And to be fair, the convention, I'm gonna like add some spoilers because by the time I say y'all see this, it's gonna be like over, so it's whatever. Like, but like it's like a Star Trek convention, and like, girl, I don't really care about a Star Trek convention. My mom loves Star Trek. Okay, I don't. I've actually always kind of hated sci-fi because I think it's unrealistic. There's no freaking human aliens that are like having spikes on their head. Borg 7 and 9 was my cup of tea. She was like my first like woman crush Wednesday, right? She was like that. But like but like other than that, it's unrealistic to me. Now, I get not everyone feels that way, but to be fair, it wasn't really my cup of tea anyway. Because if it was like, oh, we're gonna go to a freaking, I don't know, what's something that would like really true, like if they were like, we're gonna go to a photography convention, I'd be like, y'all don't even care about photography. Like what? Or like, we're gonna go to a Grey's Anatomy convention. Uh, y'all couldn't name 10 members. Meredith Grey, Derek Shepard, McSteamy, McDreamy, Arizona, if you know, you know. Calliope. Uh-oh. My dog's kind of huffing and puffing. Uh-oh. Anyway. Um, Addison. Addison, right? Just kidding. Addison, I think I said Derek Shepard and McDreamy, I mean. I don't know. But you get my point. Like y'all couldn't name that many people. But like a Star Trek convention, yeah. The Star Trek people I know already, Borg 7 and 9. I don't know if the Borg part really matters, but Borg 7 and 9. Captain Janeway. That's Picard. That's what I got. That bartender guy, me for real. Don't even know his name. So it's like, yeah, they belong there, you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, I can turn it down. But then I was like, I want to go on a weekend getaway. I want to go on a weekend trip, but I don't want it to cost a lot of money. Do you know where it doesn't cost a lot of money to stay there for a weekend? Vegas. Vegas. Now, the crazy part about all of this is, where is my family going to be in? Vegas. They're going to be in Vegas. And I'm going to go to Vegas. And am I kind of like daydreaming, romanticizing us like seeing each other out in the wild and them being like, Logan? And me being like, family? Yes. Because I'm not telling them I'm going to Vegas. Because we don't really like keep in touch like that. So like, why tell them? You know, it'd just be weird and forceful. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes. They're having a good time. Like they said, it's to make up for my birthday. That my sister disqualified herself from. But regardless, like, I'm not going to step on anybody's toes. They deserve their mother-daughter time as much as I deserve my mother-son time or whatever. And so, like, I'm not stepping on toes. Now, am I going to have a great time? Yes. Absolutely yes. I'm going to live my Vegas dream for a few days. And let me tell you why, okay? I found I'm really good at like optimizing. Optimizing is kind of my thing. I would be a really good like COO, like Chief Operations Officer. That really is probably what I was born to do, God willing. I always thought it was like a therapist or psychiatrist, but I don't know. That's not working out. So like, maybe. Only God knows. But I optimize everything. I optimize literally like when I have to go to the grocery store, what I need from the grocery store, when I clean, how long processes take. I optimize my cutting patterns for celery. Like, I optimize everything. And so I've gotten really good, especially at optimizing like hotels getting the best deals, researching like sites, what's legitimate, what's fake, what's like actually a good price, what is just like gonna steal your money and then run with it, you know what I mean? And so it's like I've done so much optimization that I was able to optimize even only 3 days away a hotel stay, like we'll say within walking vicinity, if not on the strip, one or the other, okay, for like $80 a night. Like 3 days away. Now I also found a flight for like $300. I thought about that one, and then I was like, no, because I can just drive there. Now, do I want to drive there? I don't. I hate driving. I hate it. But I'll tell you what, if I can do my longest long run so far is an hour and 37 minutes. If I can physically run and exert myself for an hour and 37 minutes, I can drive for multiple hours. Okay. Will I like it? Not inherently, but like I can make it enjoyable. You know what I mean? So I'm going to. And so that's exactly what I did. Because I need to save money because I'm not going there to go bankrupt. Now, I'm about to present you information that might change your opinion on that. Okay, now hear me out here, okay? I was like, I want to go on the strip. I'm going to get there like 2 a.m. because I have to work. So I have to work like my full shift and then I have to drive there. And so I'm going to get there like 2 a.m. Allegedly, hypothetically, potentially. And so it's like, that's pretty late. But I was like, it's also Vegas. There's probably still something going on at 2 a.m. You know what I mean? And so then I was like, you know what I should do is sorry, this house is so clean. I love it. I just cleaned it. I'm just like admiring how clean it is. I'm like, wow, what a blessing. Anyway, I was like, you know what I should do is like, I should just like save as much money as possible and go there, have a great weekend away. I don't know why they can't have a weekend away because they're taking off, like, that's another thing. They're taking off, let's just say more than 7 business days for this trip. I don't know why, because the convention doesn't last that long. They're not going to be at the convention that long. But they chose to do that. Why is that needed? I don't know. But I'm turning it into a weekend getaway. I almost honestly, I would have bought tickets to the convention until I saw how much it cost. They want over $400 a person. They don't sell daily passes. They don't sell like 1-day passes. The cheapest general admission after like fees and stuff, like $480. I was like, no, I'm good. I can do a lot with $480. Like going there and like being like a little freaking, I look in people's windows like Taylor Swift and being like a little spy, being like, ooh, look at all this stuff going on. Ooh, I shouldn't be here, but I'm here. Like they have no idea that I'm here and accidentally running into them or something. Like that'd be fun. That'd be cute. Except for like $480. Like I would stay there probably like maybe 3 hours in one day. And then I'd be bored. Because again, it's just not my fandom. It's just not my thing, right? And so I was like, no. I'm not, because I could lock in and I could treat it like work. I could attend every hour of every minute of that convention, treat it like a work conference. But why? Why would I pay $480 just for the ticket, not including the gas there, not including the gas back, not including my hotel? And now I will say I looked, if it would have included the hotel, I think I would have paid it. Because it's, I think, like a 4-night convention or something. And so I was all like, no, hold on. 4 days of tickets and 4 nights of hotels for $480. That's a different story. It doesn't include the hotels. So I was like, no, thank you. But instead I did make a whole plan. I was like, I'm going to have like my own, like, it is the summer of Logan. We've been knew that. But we are ending it right. Okay. We are ending it with like a twist. Okay. And I'm going to be downtown Vegas. I guess the Strip of Vegas, because I don't actually know if that's downtown Vegas, but like we're gonna be partying, we're gonna be wilding, but safely. Because I will say, I'm still just not the type to like black out in Vegas. I'm not the type to be dancing on tables. I'm the type to be at like a bar and like sipping a dirty martini in a suit. And that's what I'm going to do, by the way. I'm bringing my suit. Am I a little nervous to bring my suit? Yes. Because the last time I wore my suit and drank at the same time was graduation, when I graduated from college. And I blacked out and woke up in a hospital with some stuff missing. Thank God I was okay. Thank God. Genuinely. I ended up in a hospital because I don't want to talk about it. I was okay. Okay. Thank God. I was okay. But anyway, I'm also not in that phase of my life anymore. At that time, I was literally sipping Fireball, allegedly, hypothetically. And that's I don't do that anymore. Now I sip wine. Now I have like a glass or two of wine, and I'm like, I'm good. Ooh, this fly. There's a fly right there. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna see all the places I've wanted to see in Vegas. I'm gonna live the Vegas life that I've wanted to live, all in a weekend, and I'm gonna be back in time for work on Monday. I'll work all of Friday, and I'll be back on Monday to work all of Monday. I know. Isn't it crazy? But I have all these plans. I'm so excited. But the first part of that plan is recording the podcast. So that's what brought me to you guys here today. I was like, I need to get this done. I need to get it edited, and I need to get it uploaded, because I don't want to worry about it. Respectfully, I love you all. I love you all so much. I don't want to worry about it. Okay, this and work are my two biggest stressors. To me, this is work. Now, I don't get paid for it. I can tell you that much. If anything, I pay for it. But like, yeah, I don't get paid for it, and that's okay. But wow, this wine is like, it's really good though. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been planning out what I'm gonna do at Vegas, and I need you guys to give me ideas. Okay. So far, what I'm thinking is like a burlesque, Cirque du Soleil, like the Cosmopolitan, the Bellagio. Isn't there like a Circus de something? It's not Cirque du Soleil. Why can't I pronounce it? It's not Cirque du Soleil. There's another Circus. That's what it is. Isn't Circus known for its performances or something? I don't know. There's the Sphere, but the Sphere feels like paying to go to a movie theater. Is that not what it is? Somebody please clarify. I'm thinking about seeing the Blue Man Group, but like, should I? I don't know. I need somebody to tell me what to do in Vegas. There's so much planning, so much researching, and that's why I'm recording this, is just to get it done. Because then I can focus on the bigger, like, more concerning things. Because this podcast is huge to me. Again, genuinely, my top two priorities every week: work every day, 40 hours a week, and do the podcast. Everything else, basically secondary. Well, I mean, like, of course, God comes above everything. But like meal prep even. Meal prep is so important. It's so whatever. But like, worst case scenario, I can buy something. Is it expensive? Yes. Yes, it is very expensive. But I could do it. You know what I mean? Like, because the thing is, I'm in an aggressive cut, and I have to maintain enough protein. Now, the aggressive cut, I said it last week, and I'll say it again. It's the easy part. The hard part is maintaining the protein and stuff. It is so expensive buying food that maintains the protein and stuff. And it's usually dirty still. It's usually dirty protein is what I call it, where there's more calories than there needs to be for protein. But you pay for convenience, I guess, whatever. Anyway, and so I'm just getting this done, and I'm trying to think, okay, what should I do in Vegas? What should I wear? What should I wear? I wanted to wear something kind of revealing, but the hard part is doing that as a man, right? Because we have nothing against the gays, the girls, whatever. I'm not the type to wear a crop top. I am not the type to wear shimmering, dazzling, what do they call those? Tassels and all of that stuff. But at the same time, I've lost so much weight. My muscle definition is actually insane. I'm not talking about like my biceps. Like I'm talking about like under my shirt. I saw abs for the first time about 6 days ago. That was crazy to me. I genuinely convinced myself my entire life that I just don't have the genetics for abs. Baby, you were just fat. And that's okay. That's okay. But you can lose enough weight to get the genetics for abs. Because at the end of the day, do genetics play a part in bodybuilding? Absolutely, 100%. The way that you're shaped, the way that you're built, the amount of like muscle mass that you naturally have, absolutely muscle is influenced by genetics. But like seeing your abs, baby girl, just stop eating so many oils. Stop putting butter. I genuinely used to think that to steam broccoli, you had to spray butter on it. I used to think that was a requirement to make broccoli soft. And that's exactly what I'm saying when I say I was just fat. Now, I was never obese. I was never like nothing like that. I did get to a point where I was definitely in the overweight approaching obese scale, maybe. That was a time in my life for sure. That was like an awakening. Yeah. But for the most part, I've always been slim, I would say is a fair adjective to describe me. But like, I've never been like lean. And so I'm like, well, I kind of want to like show it off. You know what I mean? I feel confident. I feel good. I'm in Vegas. In Vegas, you can dress wild. You can whatever. I want to wear like the shiny, shimmery, whatever. But it's like, how do you do that as like a man? You know what I mean? As like a gay man and stuff, I get that. Okay. As a man who like does embraces his no, his femininity, I get that. Okay. But like for me, you know what I mean? Because I like looking good. I like looking masculine. I don't want to wear a crop top. You know what I mean? And so I was like, well, I guess I could wear a wife beater. That's like the most revealing thing I could do, because I'm not walking around the strip like with a freaking like suit jacket with no shirt under it on. That's just no. And so I was like, I guess I could wear a wife beater, but then I was like, no. I could get away with it, but it's not classy, you know what I mean? So then I was all thinking, I've always wanted Louboutins. You know what I should do is I should dress in like a full suit. I know there's a Louboutin in Vegas. I know there is. I've never researched it. I've never looked it up. I know there's a Louboutin in Vegas, probably right by the strip, if not on the strip. It's like Rodeo, right? And so I was like, I should buy Louboutins while I was in Vegas. I really shouldn't. Because I've already signed up. I'm basically gambling already by the way. The place that I'm staying, they have like this thing where like if you like commit to paying the upcharge, it's like half the price. Which is insane. Hearing this out loud. If you like commit to like an executive upgrade, they won't tell you if you're going to get it or not. But if they have it available and they want to give it to you when you check in, they will give it to you. And it's significantly cheaper than it normally is. Probably like 40 to 50% off, but still, it's like an executive freaking like living room, maybe kitchen ? Is nice, and I've already signed up for it. I was like, I want it, and that's exactly my thing, y'all. I don't gamble anymore. Okay, y'all know. Maybe y'all don't know. I think I told y'all about it. I was into sports betting, and I won big sometimes with sports betting. I loved sports betting, but I had to stop because it really was just a negative. At the end of my sports betting career, I only lost a few $100s. After you take into account my winnings and losses, it was only a few $100s. Thank God. But like, I was losing so much money on it for no reason, and it was so. That was a time of my life, but like, I haven't even walked into Vegas yet, and I'm already gambling, because they're like, you might get it, you might not, and then I'm like, ooh, that's exciting. I might get a really good deal, might not, But like the nice thing is I don't lose anything, because if they don't give it to me, then like they don't make me pay for it anyway. So that's good. But like I'm still putting extra money on the table, you know what I mean? It went from like dirt cheap trip to like a good value trip, you know what I mean? Um it's still affordable, and it's just kind of expensive, but we can get away. It's not crazy, but like anyway. So I'm thinking, I'm all like, I have to do all these Vegas things. I have to gamble. I have to drink. I have to whatever. And I was like, I'm not. I say all of these things, but we'll see. We'll see, because I'm just not the type. I am not the type. Like Vegas relies on me because I want to go to the Cosmopolitan. I want to go to the. It's like all of these things that I said, but I also don't want to spend like $300 on a meal at the Bellagio, right? I don't want to spend $25 for a shot at the Cosmopolitan. Um, I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it may be. And so, I also don't want to be drinking all day. That's just horrible. One thing I've learned, I love waking up clear headed. I love waking up fine. I love waking up sober. I love waking up not feeling unwell. I love not having to worry about having medication ready for if I don't feel well in the next morning or whatever. I love not having to worry about any of that. You know what I mean? So it's like I like hype myself up, and I'm like, oh, I should bring a bottle of Grey Goose to my room, because like, if I get the executive suite, ooh, 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 ooh. But like, I will not finish that bottle of Grey Goose. Maybe I could like give it to my neighbors. You know what I mean? Like my neighbor being like, you don't want a shot? That could be fun. Just being like, come on in. But also, then I'm inviting strangers in Vegas in my hotel room. Like, why would I do that? I'm not the type. But like, I don't know. I think it's exciting. I think it's gonna be fun. But the first step of that is preparation. It's getting my job done, because I will not risk my job security. I'm sorry, but like some people will. I'm not the type. I'm grateful to be employed. Now, do I like being employed? Not always. No. A lot of the time, not really. But am I grateful, and will I always be grateful? Absolutely. Because if I wasn't employed, I couldn't go to Vegas. If I wasn't employed, I couldn't buy the camera that I'm recording this on. If I wasn't employed, I couldn't live the healthy lifestyle I was living. Employment is such a blessing that I refuse to take for granted. So no, I'm not going to be the person who is like, oh, I'm just going to call out Friday. No, because no, especially as somebody who's like seen how that affects like companies, and somebody who's like dealt with the management part of it. When you call out, and people know why you call out, okay? Like, not always, but like, especially like if you knew me and you knew I was going to Vegas on Friday, and then I just happened to call out on Friday. Now, like, nobody can prove it. Nobody's going to accuse you of, well, people are going to accuse you of it probably. But, like, I'm not going to accuse you of it. But you didn't call out on the day that you wanted to get off because of a coincidence, probably. Maybe, and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, I'm just not going to be that person. Because if something did happen, I would want the benefit of the doubt to be, it is a crazy coincidence. And it's true, because we know Logan's not like that. We'll leave it at that. So I'm going to finish my full work day. I even called them today, and I was like, hey, I'm not going to get in until like 1 or 2 a.m. because I'm employed, and I'm driving from a totally different state. So, yeah. And they were like, okay, that's fine, which super nice, by the way. The first time I called didn't feel the same way, but the second time they were great. First time I called during my lunch break, I was like, I'm not waiting for this. So then I filled out one of those contact forms because I didn't have an email, which is smart, honestly. As a casino, I don't blame you for not having an email. But obviously they have an email, not a public-facing email, I'll say. But anyway, I'm like, oh, I should gamble. I was even thinking of optimizing the gambling. I was like, I wonder if I can straight up ask them and say, how much do I need to gamble for a free room? And then just gambling that exact amount. You know what I mean? But it's probably going to be like 3,000. I don't know. Maybe more than $3,000. Because they're not gonna give you a free room because they're bored. You know what I mean? But also, girl, and that's why Vegas is so detrimental. It'd be so fun to just keep gambling and keep getting free rooms, even though you're losing thousands of dollars a night. Like, girl, they're giving you free rooms. They love you. But anyway, super excited for that. But I ended up just spending the whole podcast talking about my Vegas trip. We have a few more minutes. Let's talk about the Spider-Man movie, okay? Because that's about it. I'll let y'all know about the Vegas trip, obviously, of course. Should I record the podcast there? The quality would just be so bad though. We shouldn't, because I'm not gonna have anything that I need for that. But anyway, oh my gosh, look at the quality. I love this camera. Anyway, Spider-Man movie ended exactly the way that I wanted it to. Exactly. Thank God. Oh, spoiler alert. In case you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, that sucks because it's currently August 4th. So you've had 5 days now. But anyway. So, spoiler alert. At the end, MJ doesn't remember Spider-Man. They don't fall back in love. Spider-Man isn't best friends with Nate, whatever his name was. And it's a tragic ending, but Spider-Man finds solace in crazy murdering man, right? And so it's like a new start. That is how I wanted it to end, because that is realistic. That is how I feel. He's just like me for real. That's relatable. Now, in the next movie, if Doctor Strange is like, and everybody remembers him, I'm gonna be mad. But as of right now, where we stand, amazing, fantastic. I have no complaints, no notes. It was a great movie. I do my one thing. Okay, so I saw that and The Odyssey within a few days apart. We'll get to that in a second. Spider-Man was so good, so well made. But I had to pee so badly, and I tried so badly. I made it until the end where it was like, just basically when the lady started breathing for Spider-Man. And she was like, I call her Meredith Grey. Her name's Jean Grey, but like whatever. I call her Meredith Grey because I think it's funny. Where she was like, because she's like obsessed with this man because this man was like did like the bare minimum, which like honestly like same. What? No, actually, I reviewed that. But like me when someone does the bare minimum with me. But anyway, she's like, I'll breathe for him because he showed me what love can look like. That's like honestly beautiful. But anyway, and so I made it to that, and then like a few minutes after that part, then I had to go to the bathroom so badly. It was just showing all these people like playing in the park and blah blah blah. I was like, I don't care. Movie's over basically. I'm gonna run back because there's gonna be after credit scenes. I'm gonna miss some of the stuff before the credits, but like whatever. It's just the end of the movie stuff. I run back, the after credit scene, garbage. Throw it away. Throw it away. Everyone's like, it's a reference towards. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. But in good news, there's Doomsday coming. I rebuked that. I never just. There's Avengers Doomsday, the movie, coming. Okay, I rebuke Doomsday. I have to go to the bathroom, y'all. Good thing we're almost done. And so I had to go to the bathroom also during that movie. I just be drinking a lot of water, a lot of liquids, just anyway. And so I come back mid. Lame after credit scene, but whatever. At least I saw it. And then I saw The Odyssey about 2 days later because I wanted to see it so badly. I didn't even know Tom Holland was in it, by the way, until I saw some meme about it or something, and I was like, wait, what? But I wanted to see The Odyssey. I was excited for it because I love The Odyssey. So well done. Can we just... I'm ready for the Iliad. Christopher Nolan, when? The Iliad, when? Because it was so good. The quality, the capture of it. I watched it in IMAX, but the only IMAX in my entire city, mind you. They don't have 70 millimeter. They only have like the virtual IMAX or whatever. Whatever. I watched it in that. It was amazing. It was fantastic. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was a great movie. But I also had to pee during that. And I came back. It was funny because I went to pee whenever... I already forgot his name. Whoever Tom Holland plays. the son of Odysseus, he was talking to the king of Troy, I think he was. And then next thing I knew, they were fighting those giants on the movie poster. I was like, what did I miss? And I was gonna go get a drink too. I was like, it's boring. I'm gonna invest in like the. I have to go to the bathroom, yo. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I have been relieved of needing to go to the bathroom. Fortunately, we're good now. But yeah. So basically, Odysseus' son was talking to the king of Troy. I assume he's the king of Troy because he had Helen of Troy next to him, and I'm pretty sure he was a king, so that makes me think he's the king of Troy, right? But I left and I came back and they were fighting those giants on the posters, and I was like, context. I missed so much context, and I fully intended, because the thing is, I went to the bathroom, I left my drink behind, which was exposure therapy, honestly, for me, because I don't usually leave my drinks behind anywhere. But I had to go to the bathroom, and the alternative was bringing my drink in the bathroom, which was no. And so I came back figuring it'd still be boring dialogue because I was investing, because I knew it was going to get good later on, which it did. And I was all like, yeah, let me invest in myself and go to the bathroom and get another refill on my drink so I can enjoy it. Because I opted out of getting alcohol during it because two things. One, it was 10 a.m. But like, honestly, I don't think time defines when you should be drinking, to be fair. I think that's kind of just like a dumb social norm. Now, like, obviously, like, I'm not saying drink when you wake up, right? But like, I don't know. I think the whole like, but you have to wait till 5 p.m. thing is ridiculous, especially for somebody like me, who I have to leave for work. Let's just say like before 7 a.m. And it's like, if I'm drinking at like 11 p.m. or something, that's just irresponsible. You know what I mean? I get for normal, I guess like a 9 to 5, that would be normal is the assumption, but I don't know. I think that's crazy. I'm an early bird, so to each their own. But it was more so just about, I didn't need the alcohol. I didn't really want the alcohol. And I was going to be less stressed without the alcohol, because at the end of the day, I was going to the movie by myself, and I didn't want to be like going by myself, and then a glass of wine for a 3-hour movie is not a problem per se necessarily, but like, it's also not necessary, you know what I mean? And it's also like, did you need that? No, I really didn't need that. And so it's like, I'm gonna want more than one glass of wine, because it's like, not like that, but like, because it's just like, why only have one glass of wine, you know? And so I was just like, man, let's just have soda. And that's what I did. And I wanted to get a refill, but when I came back and I saw it just changed that quickly, I was like, absolutely not. Why is there a car honking outside? Anyway, I was like, absolutely not. Like, and so that was that. I don't know. But it was so good. I loved the Odyssey. It was so well done. I was so curious how they were going to portray the sirens, because sirens are always, they're like poetry, you know what I mean? There's no one sound that a siren would make or one song that they'd sing. And so it's either going to disappoint, it's just going to disappoint you, actually. That's like their whole thing, is like human ears can't hear it or whatever, right? But they did a really good job. It was a commitment of a movie for sure, but these long movies make it so hard to like make it through it without like using the bathroom. But I'm learning because I did 2 in a few days. So the Spiderman movie, the way that I just on popcorn, I ate so lean that day, and I just kept eating popcorn. And I was like, Logan, you have to stop, because the thing is, I got free popcorn because I did like I got to see the movie like actually extra early. I think I got to see it on the 30th, and it came out the 1st. So no, I think I saw it the 31st and it came out the 1st. Anyway, it came with like a hat, like a phone mount spider web type thing, And like a popcorn bucket that came with popcorn. You could even get a free refill. My thing is my macros don't allow the free refill. My macros barely allowed the bucket itself. I ate most of that bucket though. I had it gone before the movie even started. Genuinely. But it was so good. I loved it. Although I saw this lady when I saw the Odyssey, hypothetically, allegedly, she brought in a bag of just what looked like plain popcorn. And I was like, need. Because you can have like 3 servings of normal popcorn for the cost of 1 serving of movie popcorn just because the butter that they put on it. And that's if you don't even add extra butter onto it. I assume. I haven't done the math, but something like that. But I'm a man, so I can't really carry around a purse. I could carry around a purse. Men can have purses. I can't. If you saw me carrying in a purse, I'm not dressed feminine. I'm not dressed to have a purse. They're gonna be like, do you mind if we look in your purse? And I'll be like, of course, because I just feel weird saying no. And they're gonna be like, why is there like 2 pounds of popcorn in here? And I'll be like, because I'm on a cut. And I can't have your guys' popcorn. But anyway, yeah. So, anyway, Spider-Man, The Odyssey was fantastic. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Okay, maybe not 10 out of 10. Spider-Man, I'd give like 8.7 out of 10. The Odyssey, I'd give like 9 out of 10. But really good nonetheless. Anyway, we're going to leave it at that. I'm not going to finish this wine. Can you see it? There. Thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me. It helps me out so much. I would love to do this full time. I have to go on my run. I skipped yesterday because I had a really bad mental health day yesterday. Nothing that interesting to talk about. It was just a lot going on. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. Maybe not. But thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. I'm so happy I could talk to you guys and still get an episode up this week. I love you all so much. I look forward to seeing you guys in next week's episode. And please leave a good review. 5-star, 10-star, thumbs up, whatever platform you're on. Leave the best review. It helps me a lot. Share it with a friend if you think they'd be interested. I love you all so much. Bye, guys. I love you. Say it back.